This is what I need. Hi everyone, I'm Nikola and I'm a college dropout. Hi. And not only am I a college dropout, I'm also part of this, what they call the lost generation. Now, the lost generation is us born between 1978 and 1984. They say, I was born 1980 by the way, they say that we are the ones that have to work harder to achieve the same that those born before us and after us will do with much less work. Now, why is that, especially here in Balkans? We were kids during the horrors of 90s. We were kids, but old enough to remember that. Some of us even to feel on our own skin, which is really, really terrible. In schools, we went to school, right? We learned some smart stuff there, but mostly it was more important who is winning in those wars in the 90s, who is a bad guy, who is a good guy, rather than what we are supposed to learn there. High school was interesting, at least for me. Now I'm 1980, so I was ending my high school, graduating from high school in 1999 during the year of bombing, right? So we hardly even went to school. And we graduated, they just gave us diplomas. We hardly traveled. Even those who could afford traveling could not, because Serbia was under heavy international sanctions. So it was not really easy to get a passport and travel. And this is all part of an important learning experience when you're a kid, right? So I came to Belgrade during the bombing to enroll in university. I was immediately rejected by two schools that I liked. They told me, you'll go back to Kosovo when the war is ended and you'll enroll in university in Pristina. I mean, did I mention that I'm also an internally displaced person from Kosovo? Now, how lost am I? So I enrolled a private university. They accepted me. That was nice, really. I mean, private university was really nice. Nice people there and all that, but it wasn't really for me because the topic of finance and banking, not really for me. So I kind of quit. I mean, I enjoyed the student life. But I did what I like to call self-curated knowledge. Now, I chose topics that I like, and I created learning for me. I read, I watched movies, I talked to people, I experimented. I started working early, partly because I am an IDP, partly because I wanted to. I started working when I was 19. And I worked in all three sectors. I worked for the government, I worked for civil society organizations, I worked for big corporations and small corporations too. Today I'm a happy entrepreneur. Now, this college dropout wants to change the world. Now, how does a college dropout change the world? And what does this change even mean? I mean, for me, through experimenting in the last 13 years of working here and there and talking to people, traveling and all that, I realized that social entrepreneurship is the model to change the world. But no matter how much we promote it, and it's kind of a buzzword these days in Serbia, we're even fighting for a good law on social entrepreneurship in Serbia. No matter how we regulate it, no matter how much we promote it, we still need people to make a change. So we cannot change the world by just the method, just the idea. We need people to accept it. How do we change people? Through education. Now, I know it's a bit ironical that a college dropout and a guy that hardly went to school in ending of his high school tells you this, but I believe that I'm exactly the person that you need to listen. Why? Because I'm not the product of this system. I'm not the product of this system. This system, this not product, managed as a college dropout, to even now I'm not going to brag too much about myself, but I managed, and I'm proud of it, to co-found even a corporate university. I managed to grab a job in a huge multinational company that was meant for somebody with master's degree, or they said even somebody that wants to do a PhD in that company. How did I do that? I challenged the system. I asked questions. I did not want to be part of that system as, you know, it's written there. I challenged it. Now, what is the system that I challenged? It's the system where all kids learn the same content. There is a curriculum in formal education in schools. You have to learn that. Everybody learns in the same way. Lately, even kids with special needs are forced into classrooms with other kids. That's not fair. What they learn, I dare to say, is mostly crap. Some speakers before even said, you know, math is the same for 150 years and it should stay. I mean, math is fine. But everything else, I mean, it's written, the curriculum are done, I don't know, 50 years ago or something. And through school reforms, maybe something changed, but not the curriculum. They still learn the same crap. Who teaches them? I dare to say it's not even funny. Now, we all had our favorite teachers, right? Our favorite lecturers that we prefer, but usually we like the person, not because that person taught us something. These lecturers, these teachers, would, in my opinion, be much, much better if they did not have their jobs guaranteed. Because now, you're, for example, a history teacher. You get a job in the school, and if you behave nicely, if you don't do much, if you don't change much, if you just do lectures in the curriculum that you're given to, and you do it that way, if you don't experience too much, your place is pretty much guaranteed until you retire. Now, why would these people, why would these teachers change? Why would they evolve? They have no reason to, no incentive to do so. Now, I met many young teachers. They're very enthusiastic about their job, and they're doing something in the first or second year. You know, they're trying, to change how the room looks like, trying some new innovative methods. Of course, they use internet. I mean, they see, they watch TEDtalks, they learn from how TED speakers do that. But this is only for a year or two. Then they stop because they have no support, no institutional support, no system support. The worst thing is how they're graded. The system thinks that everybody should be on the same level. And you choose, usually a teacher chooses the best student in class. He gets an A, and everybody else is compared to this guy. Or to some imaginary level, right? This is how I see it. And it's really wrong. I mean, it's wrong. We are not the same. I mean, the thing that I'm not good in math does not mean that, I have to be as good as, that best person to get an A. I think the effort should be evaluated a bit more. Now, this system values, how do I put it? This system values grades more than learning. And how do I know that? Kids cheat. The moment when kids decide to cheat, the students, to get good grades because somebody told them that better grades and better results on tests after primary school, right, before you enter into a high school, this gets you to a good high school, not your learning. It's the test. So they start cheating. The moment where they start cheating is when the system fails. The moment when parents decide to invest 500 euros into preparing their own kids for this test. I mean, this test where one of the hardest questions is whether Neznam is written split or together. After 8 years of being in primary school, it fails. It just fails. This system values procedure more than talent. I'm sure you've all heard about these super talented kids from Subotica that went to an international programming competition and won a first award there by programming a nice video game for mobile platforms, very good looking actually. They even represented that school. They came back and they were supposed to be kicked out of school because of a procedure. I mean, what kind of a message does that send to kids? Don't be talented, don't be different. Be in the box, don't get out of the box, don't do that. But believe it or not, I am an optimist. Seriously. But we need to change something, and I need help there. Because I believe that we cannot just force change this system. We cannot replace it with another one, we don't have it. And this system is so deeply integrated that we cannot easily change it. I mean, I don't know how many of you are employed, but I've worked in all three sectors, and I've never met a manager that really believes that formal education is enough, that it's good enough. But they still keep this line in job advertisements that says university degree required. Why? Even when it's really irrelevant. I mean, I was asked to recommend a person for a social media community manager position in a big company in Serbia, and I recommended somebody. I mean, this girl is really amazing at that. And they told me they cannot take her because she doesn't have a university degree. Like, okay, which university in Serbia should she go to? Should she study? I mean, what university is that? There is no such thing. But, I mean, to some extent, I understand them. I mean, they keep it because there is no other evaluation system. We cannot compare people. They think, okay, at least these people that finish university, they went through 4 years of hell or whatever. And they managed to finish it. No matter how stupid it is, they finished it. So what I think is that we cannot just replace the system. We have to make this system evolve, to change from within. Maybe even that would be even the best solution if they don't even understand that they're changing. Because if they understand that they're changing, they'll quickly write some, new procedures, new strategies, EU funds, whatever. We don't want that. We want it to a real change. For that, I need heroes. Heroes are people that went through this system, but are still thinking with their own head. And I believe this room is full of such people. Now, job description of these people is very simple. You have to encourage the new generation. We have to create a new generation of bulletproof, system-proof kids. I say bulletproof because I see all those faults of the system as bullets killing our children, slowing them down and then killing them until they become part of this system. This project I call superheroes. So you guys should be heroes that are supposed to create superheroes. Now, I thought about all the things that the system was trying constantly to kill in me throughout my childhood, and I came up with 5 defining factors of a superhero. Curiosity. Kids are born curious. They want to learn new stuff. They want to, dive deep. They want to swim far. They want to climb trees. They want to break stuff. They want to create stuff. This is kids. Now, what do we tell them? Tell them, don't do that. For your own safety, don't do that. Stop doing that. Sit there. You're too young for that. Why do we do that? Because we're lazy. A friend just a couple of days ago wrote that on one of the social networks, and I loved his sentence. He said, it's not hard to be a good parent. It's just so freaking easy to be an idiot. And we always choose an easy way. Always. We should not do that. Especially with critical thinking. Now, critical thinking is critical for the development of kids. They ask questions. They ask, why this? How is this happening? Why? Why is this room this way? Who did it this way? Sometimes we have answers. Sometimes we get bored, so we ignore these questions. Sometimes we're sick of it, and we don't ask any questions anymore. Please don't do that. In schools, it gets even worse. In schools, they tell them, so here's the curriculum. This is what you need to know. You cannot challenge anything. You cannot challenge the amount of knowledge we give you, or how you do it, or what is inside. That's even worse. So you go through school and you learn that Pluto is a planet, right? You learn that communists were awesome guys in the Second World War. That's why I was taught. You learn that sex is bad. God is great. And you cannot, I'm not saying that, that's not right, but you cannot challenge it. You don't have an opportunity to challenge it. So I'm asking you, when your kid, or doesn't have to be your kid, a kid in your surrounding asks you even a stupid question, don't tell him it's a stupid question. Don't do that. Because you're killing that kid with that. You're shooting bullets at him. If you don't know the answer, just point in the right direction. Just give him a computer. I'm sure you all saw this TED talk by Sugata Mitra when he put a computer in a remote village in India where kids have never seen a computer. He put it in a kiosk and he left. He did not explain anything. Couple of weeks or couple of months later he came, kids came to him and said, we want better processor, we want more memory. And it really wasn't fair that it was in English, we had to learn English first. Kids are curious, they will understand that. Now, the sooner self-awareness is what the head is. The sooner your kid understands its learning style, the better. There are many learning style methods out there. I prefer the same one that somebody was talking about today. I think you was. It's VARC, visual, auditive, reading, writing, and kinesthetic. Visual is so you learn through your eyes. You see things. You like visual aids. You like mind maps. Auditive, whole our school system is made for auditive kids. You listen. There is a teacher. He tells a lecture. You're supposed to listen. you have some homework to do, but mainly you listen through your childhood. Those that are good listeners are usually the best students. And most of the teachers don't use any visual aids. They don't care about visual people, even though they say that visual people are the majority in our world today. You have reading, writing. Those are those that they learn easier by reading something or by taking notes. My lovely wife takes notes even when we talk about going to the supermarket. I mean, it's unbelievable. She draws these mind maps and stuff. And then you have kinesthetic. This is, I am a kinesthetic person. We like to touch, we like to experiment, we like to do things. That's how we learn. I mean, for example, I would like to smell things. In the restaurant, no matter how good looking the souffle is or how many times somebody told me that it's great, if I don't smell it, when I smell it, if it doesn't smell good, I'm not eating it. That's how I learn about stuff around me, by smelling them. That's kind of weird, right? Then you have to put responsibility in hands of your kids. Again, one of the speakers today was saying this. Kids need to learn at a very early age responsibility, that every action has a reaction, has a consequence. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. They have to learn this. By learning responsibility, they create a set of values that defines their identity in the end. Because we don't want just smart kids out there. We want good kids too. Good and smart. That's the right combination. And I'll allow you to argue with me on any of these four, really. Because somebody would rather put passion instead of responsibility, or change things there, or choose another learning style. But for the fifth one, self-confidence, I'm not allowing you to change that one. Because these first four factors are defining you, like if it's a vehicle, it will tell you how to drive properly, safely, how to drive to other different places, how to drive in different ways. Self-confidence, it's what drives you far away, far there. It's what takes you to space. It's what made Michael Jordan the best basketball player of all times. He failed so many times, he missed shots, but he came back and he shot again and he scored. This is what made Mark Zuckerberg leave his college, dropouts, and created Facebook. I mean, he would probably be successful even if he finished Harvard, but he had self-confidence. He knew that his idea was good. So every time, remember this, every time you tell a kid that it's dumb, stupid, have two left hands when it breaks something, lazy, it's okay if you're not so good in math, because you're good there, You are helping this kid to create its identity, its wrong identity. Because if that kid knows that it's stupid and dumb, what do you think? What that kid would be? It will be stupid and dumb. And I'm going to finish very soon. I'm going to ask you to not teach your kids these 5 factors. Just encourage them. You don't have to teach them anything. Just don't destroy any of these factors in them. Because if we create these little superheroes, we won't have to change the world anymore. The world will be changed. We won't have to fight for a good model for social entrepreneurship or for, I don't know, whatever your passion is. It will just happen. So I'll end here. May the power be with you. Thank you.